Welcome back to Getting Real. I am your host, Monique Hom, and today we're diving into another powerful conversation from the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit. If you're new here, I'm sharing one interview each week from 20 intimate behind the scenes conversations I've had with women who are running 7 to 9 figure businesses and living deeply aligned, joyful, freedom filled lives. This series is for you if you are craving success that doesn't cost your peace, if you want to build wealth in a way that feels good in your body, and if you love learning directly from women who've created extraordinary results without abandoning their values. Today's guest is a master at blending brilliance with authenticity. You're about to hear my conversation with Sheryl Plouffe, who's a former national TV broadcaster turned AI powered business strategist. She's the co founder of Icon Maker, person who helps entrepreneurs scale smarter and show up more visibly without burning out. And she's my mentor. I want to tell you why you'll want to lean all the way into this episode. We're going to talk about alignment before automation, visibility without hustle, and how to use AI as an ally that gives you more freedom, not more work. If you've ever wondered, how do I grow and scale something without losing myself, then this is the one for you. And if you're thinking, Monique, I want the whole summit, not just one interview a week. And I want to get access to these incredible gifts that the speakers are talking about. And I want to tell you, you're in luck. You can still get instant access to all 20 conversations, plus over $4,000 in VIP gifts that our speakers, including Sheryl, have created for you. All right, let's get into it. Here's my interview with the incomparable Sheryl Plouffe. Welcome to the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, where we are exploring not only how to create financial wealth, but live lives that feel aligned, joyful, and free. And our guest today is an incredible blend of strategic brilliance and soulful innovation. Sheryl Plouffe is a former national TV broadcaster turned business growth expert and co-founder of Icon Maker, and also founder of the Scale Smart AI Lab. She is also my personal mentor, and I'm so happy she's here. She helps entrepreneurs scale smarter, combining AI systems and authentic visibility to grow sustainable, high-impact businesses. With over 20,000 hours of live broadcasting under her belt, Sheryl knows how to capture attention and turn it into income. Sheryl, I am so thrilled to have you here.
I'm
Thanks for
so
being here.
excited to be here with you as well. And thank you so much for inviting me onto your stage so that I could share what I believe is so fundamental to all of us women entrepreneurs and men too, but women who want to be in that place of flow, want to be in that place of ease. And I think AI affords us that opportunity to dive in. I know some people are a little bit, maybe I say, unsure of how to leverage it to the highest capability. And that's something we can certainly talk about today, but I'll follow your lead and we'll have a great conversation.
We will definitely talk about that. But I want to start a little bit with your story because you have a fascinating background. You were a national TV broadcaster in Canada, and you went from doing that to being an AI powered business strategist. So tell us a little bit about your story and what inspired you to make that shift.
I did spend 25 years as a TV broadcaster on stage, and 17 of those were on the national stage. I also managed a news department for several years as well. I've spent my fair share of time in the in masculine energy, shall we say, in that industry. But it was a wonderful experience, and I really gained so much from media in general. And then really when I transitioned to my business in 2017, it was a natural progression to go from broadcasting to video marketing, as you might expect. And so I did that for several years, went into COVID years, started really exploring media, specifically around podcasting, developed a methodology whereby podcasting is used to build high trust relationships And that set me on a whole other path, which leads me to today, where I am the co-founder of Icon Maker with my business partners based on that methodology. But as it relates, Monique, to I think it was really a natural progression for me because I love tech. I am a self-professed nerd when it comes to this. And so I wanted to use my media experience to be able to not just push more noise out into the marketplace. Now I'm capable to create a lot of videos, created thousands of videos, but I'm just not interested in pushing more noise. What I
Yeah.
am interested in is helping entrepreneurs to create real impact through their work, through their wisdom, and through their knowledge so that we can have more ease, right? So that we can enjoy our lives. And so I felt like AI was just a natural extension of that. And it was a tool, in my view, to amplify intuition, and not to override it.
Yeah, I love that. I'd like to know how your experience in media shaped how you approach business today.
I think it has impacted certainly the delivery side and the fulfillment side of what we do. That's predominantly how I've been using AI to date. We don't really do heavy content marketing, and for example, I'm not using AI to create Pixar versions of me and post them on Facebook. What I am doing is I'm using them to create valuable systems in the back end so that an entrepreneur, myself included, because I use my own methods on my own self,
Yeah.
can be able to collapse time. So instead of something taking, let's say, 10 months, it takes 10 hours, and that is a massive shift. So for me, it feels like more on the operational side. Now, that's not to say it will always be that way. I'm certainly always exploring ways to use it in other ways. But to this point, as of this interview, I feel like it's been more operational and back end fulfillment.
I love that's so great too, because I feel like very few people are using it in that way. A lot of people are using it to write better emails and things like that, which is sure, you can do that, but then they all start to sound the same. But it's figuring out how we use it in the back end, which is really exciting. And I know a lot of people hear AI and think, okay, it's automation, but there's some hustle that's involved in that. What does AI, because you use that term AI alignment, what does AI alignment mean to you, especially when it comes to scaling and scaling with feminine flow?
I think it's really more about thinking about AI as an ally for you in your business and for building systems. These are designing systems that are actually going to support you to do the work that you're on this planet to do. And maybe that's also considering the way that you prefer to work. How do you prefer to work? How do you like creating? What are the environments where you feel the most creative? Where do you want to lead? To me, it feels like those are the, say, the feminine or maybe more feminine qualities within us. And I think we all aspire to bring more of that to the surface. So for me, it feels it's alignment first. Like where do I want to be and how do I want to create and how do I want to lead? And then tech second. Like how do we utilize tech to build the system so that can happen? I'll give you an example. I'm up at the lake right now. I'm at the cottage, and we've owned this cottage now for, oh gosh, 21 years. My husband and I bought it a long time ago. And this is my happy place. I love being here. So do we all. But it's 3.5 hours drive from my home. So when I come up here, I'm able to go for walks. I'm able to be in nature. I can hear the boats on the lake. The birds are chirping and the stars at night are so bright. And it just brings me and it pulls me into a centered place. But while I'm here, I'm still working. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I have systems in place to afford me to do it. It's not all AI, but AI is a part of that the ability to use AI driven systems. And I don't just mean tools I've created, softwares, different tools that I purchase or that I subscribe to that have AI baked into them. I don't know if certainly some people realize this, but most of the tools you're using today have some form of AI baked into them.
Yeah,
And I think collectively, all of these tools and all these things that we put together create the systems that allow us to do and be and create and lead in the environments and the places that make us happy.
I love that. I know a lot of women want to grow and scale, but they're afraid that if they grow too big, that's going to mean burnout or losing their personal touch. How can AI and smart systems like you're talking about actually help create more freedom and flow and ease, not less?
I think it comes back to what are you really good at? So, for example, I love speaking, I love being interviewed, and I love smart questions. So, thank you so much for asking me such great questions. But being on podcasts, speaking, coaching, mentoring, I love all of that. So, for me, that feels really natural to do. I love to talk, and I can talk about marketing all day long. I think it's really considering that, like choosing the platforms where your voice feels the most authentic will prevent you from feeling burnt out by doing something that isn't in alignment with you. And so, for example, AI in this case could play in if I love to speak and I'm on stages. I could use AI to help repurpose some of the content that's being put out there and published online, for example. So I'm not necessarily feeling chained to the constant content treadmill that so many people are caught up in, as an example.
Yeah.
If I were very much in alignment, I love, let's say I was like, I love to write, that's my thing, right? I could use AI to help me produce content for a newsletter with a push of a button.
Yeah.
So I think it's about that piece around alignment and figuring out like what works for you in your self-expression. Do you like to do video? Do you like to write? Do you like, what is it that you love and you gravitate the most to? Then backward shaping that and saying, okay, how now can I use AI to help make the most of that modality that I'm gravitating to the most?
Yeah. I love that. You've helped clients grow through platforms like YouTube, podcasting, digital media, digital marketing. What are some of the most leveraged ways that high achieving women can start showing up more powerfully online without burning out?
Certainly, I think video is definitely one of them. Like you mentioned YouTube, have I've done a lot on YouTube for myself and my clients as well. I think I'm sitting at I think 3.7 plus million video views on YouTube.
It's amazing.
I think that is certainly a place to look, would be video. And I know a lot of women are self-conscious. They don't want to be on video. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they sound. But at the end of the day, I think it's just shifting your mindset around that and saying, okay, but what kind of impact could I make if I were willing to do that despite my fear, despite my inhibitions, despite my nerves? And I think the answer for most of us would be I would make more impact. I would help more people. And if you are a heart centered, driven type person who truly does want to affect change through your business in society, which is the purpose of small businesses, right?
Yeah.
That you can overcome those feelings of who, who's going to listen to me and I need to lose weight first, or I don't like
Mhm.
the way I look, on all of this mostly vanity reasons. So I think video is one of the key things. And that doesn't necessarily have to be producing a video on YouTube. Granted, YouTube is its own animal, right? There's a lot to know and a lot to understand in terms of how to be effective on YouTube. But what about just getting on camera and being on podcasts, video or audio podcasts? What about being on stages? What about speaking in front of more people and just sharing value with them? So I think that it's video slash visibility is probably the answer I'd give here.
So good. We're hearing a lot about AI agents in the business space, and I know you have a company helping people with that. So, can you explain what are the agents and how they can actually support feminine-led businesses rather than replace their heart or creativity?
The key with thinking about agents, so you were talking earlier about generative AI, right? That's where things started. Generative AI was when for the mass public, because AI has been around for a long time, but for the mass public, it came around a few years ago. And the generative AI is where we started, right? It's like helping to write a blog post, write an email, create content, write an editorial, write an article, that sort of a thing. Agentic AI is now taking that further and saying, how can I create an autonomous, or it's up to you, you can choose for it to be completely autonomous, or you can also have human interjection at certain junctures of the workflow. But an AI agent is strictly a trusted assistant, kind of like an employee, but a trusted assistant on your staff that never calls in sick, is available 24/7, and knows everything there is to know ever.
Yeah.
It's a pretty compelling reason to have one. So you want to think of AI agents as a trusted assistant who handles the logistics. And if it's handling the logistics, then you can focus on the things that are the heart of your business, meaning the you-ness of your business, that it doesn't replace your creativity. It's actually helping to protect it, because now you're able to stay in that space of, okay, AI is going to take care of the logistics and the system part of it with automations, with workflows, et cetera, to accomplish a certain goal. I can be me. I can do the parts that AI isn't going to be able to replace. And I think the combination of those two powerful areas, of your business can be a game changer.
Share some of the ways in which people, or even like you're helping people use AI agents, because that's really fascinating. And when people realize it can do that, it's like very mind-blowing.
There are three that come to my mind. You're only limited to your imagination in terms of what kind of agents you can create to serve any number of different functions in your business. But the three that I'm particularly excited about is, well, one of them is called database reactivation. So this is like if you have a list, you have a database of leads, okay? And most entrepreneurs let those leads go dead or dormant because they're not nurturing them enough, and any number of reasons why those lists go dormant. You can use an agent to automatically text message, right, those leads. And you're going to want to use, again, some strategy here on what the words are to say when you reach out and do that text message. But it can spark new conversation, new dialogue, new relationship with the dormant leads. And AI can take the heavy lifting of how far it takes them through that back and forth dialogue until the next stage of the process, which is, it could be, for example, sending that person to talk to someone on your team later, like scheduling a call, or immediately in real time. I'll connect you with a salesperson right away. AI can take care of all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. So what does it mean? It means reactivating your database. Those dead leads are just sitting there doing nothing. You can reactivate them. We've seen upwards of 20 to 30% uptick on what were otherwise considered dead leads.
Mm,
So just start doing the math. If you think, okay, I have a list of, and we'll use a low number because most people have small lists. But if you had 1,000 people, it's a small list on your list. I know you have a big one, but a lot of people don't. If you have 1,000 people on your list, what would it mean to you to reawaken 300 of them
yeah.
without lifting a finger? You set it up once and the AI is doing that for you. That's pretty exciting. So that's thing one. The second one is speed to lead. So this would be an AI agent that takes care of leads come into your business. Let's say you're speaking, you're out at a networking event, you're on stages, whatever, and you can create an AI agent that will immediately nurture that lead, that new lead, and guide them through the initial stages of the nurturing process. And if you have a sales team, then it could be directing people to a sales team. Any number of possibilities are there. So that's thing two. And the third one is voice AI, meaning you can have a 24/7 concierge
Mm.
that knows your business inside and out, probably better than you. And people can phone a phone number. They can phone a phone number, and you can promote this phone number. They call a phone number, and the AI will speak to them and guide them as to what the next, like to triage them, to put them into your funnel. I don't like the word funnel, but for lack of a better term, your
Yeah.
customer journey, and in whatever way, shape, or form makes the most sense. So those are the three that come to my mind in terms of really powerful AI agents.
I love that so much. I know we have a conversation to that we need to have.
Do.
Stop doing that.
I know.
More of that. Yeah, because it's so brilliant. And the there's a lot of research that shows the quicker you can, just for example, like speed to lead, the quicker you can respond back. So if they get a response within a minute of like contacting your company, I think there's a 400% chance that they will sign up ultimately. So it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, love that.
And not only that, it's a competitive edge.
Yeah.
It's a competitive edge for you against the people that are not utilizing these tools. And we're going to see massive changes here over the next 5 to 10 years. We won't
Mhm.
recognize ourselves in 5 to 10 years with all of this. So I think it's the time is now to be thinking about where do I want to be utilizing AI in my business? Because it can be overwhelming. A lot of people, I don't know even know where to start. And that's part, we'll talk about the VIP gift a little bit later about that,
Yeah.
because I think that's a really powerful thing to be able to help someone understand, hey, there's lots of AI can do, but start here.
Yeah.
Start with this. Yeah.
Love that. Okay, this summit is about building a seven-figure lifestyle, the one that's rich in wealth, alignment, joy, and freedom. What does that lifestyle look like for you personally, and how has tech helped make it possible?
I've never desired to be rich, but I have desired to be wealthy. And so I think for me, it's about building wealth, and it's also building the freedom to be able to travel. And I'm not a person who necessarily wants to travel every month of every year. Like, I'm not that person because I do being home. I like being at the cottage. I do like familiarity. It's just my personality. But I do like to travel once in a while. And
Yeah.
so I think it's the freedom to travel. I think it's more time with my family. My son plays high level baseball as Monique. And so that takes a lot of time. If anybody's ever had a son who's in baseball, it's a long time. You go to a double header and it's the whole day. I love being able to have the freedom to spend time at the cottage with my family. And I think it's also the joy of creating something you feel proud of, that feels like you're in flow. I love losing myself in that creation process and something that feels in alignment and flow for me, which is a lot of times it is these nerding out moments that I have with AI and different things. I love it. I'm a lifelong learner. I really dig into that. And so the tech simply supports that vision for a wealthy lifestyle with freedom to spend traveling when I want, with family when I want, having more availability in the summertime here in Canada to come to the cottage and spend time up here in nature. And so I feel like that's my life. And sitting around a campfire on a Saturday night with a blanket on an Adirondack chair is my happy place.
I love that. You said something really interesting, and I'm curious how you would define it because you're like, I've never wanted to be rich, I want to be wealthy. So, how would you define rich and how do you define wealthy?
I think rich is like when you, this is just how I view it. I think
Yeah.
rich is when you are mostly trying to prove to other people that you have money.
About
Like,
the status and showing it, and yeah, because there are a lot of people that might look
I,
like they have the bling and they have the
don't get
designer
me wrong.
labels and they have all that stuff, but they may
You know,
not actually either be rich or wealthy. They
I
just
like
like,
nice things. Okay. I'm not saying I don't like nice things. I do. I like nice
yeah,
things, but I'm not a showy, super showy person. I don't
yeah,
like to. Some people aspire to have supercars and like that kind of a thing and like the biggest house on the block. And like I'm more modest, I think, about things like that. I
yeah.
want to have nice things, but not because I'm trying to prove to anybody else that I have those things or that I have money.
But just because it
To
brings
me,
you,
that's rich. Rich
yeah,
means proving to somebody else or trying to
okay,
impress other people. And that's not, that's really never motivated. It might have motivated me when I was younger, but it doesn't
yeah,
now.
okay,
Wealth to me is more about security and stability. And I feel like that's definitely more in alignment with me. I
yeah,
want to be able to know definitively, and I feel this way now, but I want to know definitively that my son will be well taken care of. He will not have a worry around the things I worried about when I was a kid.
yeah.
So it's twisting that and making sure that I am changing that cycle that I grew up in, and I want him to have a different path.
Okay. So it's partly I'm hearing legacy, being able to take care of the next generation. It's it's about like how things feel for you, having being able to have the nice things you want for yourself, being able to define being able to find wealth on your own terms. So maybe it's not, like you said, not going every month on some blowout vacation because you love being at home. And it could be for you being really wealthy is just
Yeah,
being on your Adirondack chair with your blanket, staring
totally.
at the sky, the
Yeah,
stars. And I think that is the seven-figure lifestyle. It's being able to do what you want in a way, like tapping into your joy is defined by you.
yeah. And it's in your heart. It's inside of you that you feel wealthy knowing that I've done something great for myself and my family and those closest to me, and having the security of knowing like no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I love that. To me, that's what motivates me. And I do the simple pleasures in life. I really do the simple pleasures. And that's to me a better definition of what I'm after than to be rich.
For others. So good. I love that conversation. Are you have offered you have two very special gifts for our audience, one for everybody and then one just for the VIP. So do you want to can you share more about what you have for us?
Yeah, the first thing I'm hoping to get into the hands of everyone who's here and watching this is it's called the Offer Operating System. What I did was I created a series of 8 they're able to guide you through a conversation that will specifically help you to find clarity and to understand what your offer should be. So that think of it like an operating system for a computer. And that's really how I came up with this idea was I want to create an operating system for people's offers, because one of the things I have found frustrating over the course of many years of being in business strategy is that it always stems from the offer. If things aren't working, usually it has to do with the offer. The offer is not clear. They haven't figured out who it serves, how it serves them, what its benefits are, et cetera, et cetera. So I created 8 GPTs to help guide someone through a discussion with ChatGPT around an offer and everything that it is comprised of. And so I think it's really about clarity mostly. And that's something I'm happy to provide to your audience today.
So that's awesome. So that offer operating system, those 8 custom GPTs is for everybody, just for being here. And for our VIPs, what do you have?
So for the VIPs, I hinted at this earlier that I think that sometimes it can feel like, where do I start with this whole AI thing? Now, for those of you who have maybe dove into AI, maybe you already have some sense of, yeah, I got this and I know where I'm starting. For a lot of people, they don't. So I think a VIP session with me over 15 minutes, I know I can provide a ton of value in 15 minutes because it's a very
She
structured
can.
call.
I can
You
attest.
can attest to that. It's a way to use, how do you use AI and where do you start? It's not saying, hey, you're all the things, but what is that one way, that one thing that you could do with AI today that's actually going to move the needle in your business? I can pinpoint that in 15 minutes, and that's a VIP call that you can book with me for the VIPs.
That is super valuable, y'all, to be able to just have a one-on-one with Cheryl, because Cheryl has a 8-figure business that she's created in the past couple of years. Eight.
It is. It is.
I was like,
Not
it's not nine
solo,
figures
but
yet, but
with my business partners. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
this I find every extra digit, there's a next level of thinking. And it's so valuable to be able to talk to people who are at that level. As well, we have our VIP event. So if you're in the VIP, you can come and chat with the incredible speakers and each other. So definitely, if you have not upgraded yet, you will want to do that so that you can be in the room with these incredible women like Cheryl.
Thank
Cheryl,
you.
thank you so much for this. I was going to say this rich conversation, but it's more than rich.
It's a wealthy
Well,
conversation.
it's full of wealth. It's
I love
refreshing.
it.
Yeah, you've definitely shown that systems and soul can go hand in hand, and not just that, but that the AI can help empower our creativity, our authenticity, not like hinder it, but really unleash it. So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Thanks to all of you for watching. Again, if you've been curious about AI automation and visibility and you want to grow that in a way that feels aligned and feminine, definitely check out and take advantage of Cheryl's gifts because you won't want to miss it. So thank you, Sheryl. You're
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Wasn't that incredible? What Sheryl shared is the kind of clarity and calm that helps you build a business aligned with who you truly are, not who you've been told you should be. So before we wrap, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, where in my business or life could I bring in more ease, more alignment, or more support? You don't have to push your way to success. There's a smarter, softer path, and this conversation is such a beautiful reminder of that. If you've been loving these episodes, remember this is just one part of a 20-week series from the 7-Figure Lifestyle Summit. You don't have to wait week by week. You can still get instant access to every single interview, plus more than $4,000 in gifts from our speakers, including trainings, tools, templates, one-on-one phone calls with them, all for just $99. So go to www.tinyurl.com/VIP 7 figures and grab the full VIP experience. The live summit already happened, but the wisdom is timeless and you deserve to have all of it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting real with me, and I'll see you in next week's episode of our 20-week series. Bye-bye.